Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, kings and queens of the land. Good evening, the royals. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to all our viewers. Good evening to all our viewers, those who are viewing us in Africa, in Kenya, in South Africa, those who are viewing us in Mozambique, Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Namibia, those who are viewing us uh, from all over Africa, those who are viewing us from Europe, and also those who are viewing us from the United States of America. Good evening, good evening, good evening to everybody. Uh, Today we are talking about today our topic, our discussion, our main discussion. It's actually what is happening in Kenya and what is happening in South Africa. Basically, in a context, in a way that will be educational. I want to talk about it in a way that will be informative and be educational. What is happening? Why is it happening? And what is happening? Because we need to ask the question, what is happening? And then we can ask the question, why is it happening? Uh, so, uh, what is happening? It's actually a very deep secret. It's actually a serious secret that people don't really talk about it. Uh, William Ruto came in with a promise of sounding like a Pan Africanist man. William Ruto talking like somebody who who want the minerals of Africa to benefit the African people. When he was campaigning, William Ruto came in as a very trusted man and a credible man for a lot of people who were following him. I was actually as well tempted to believe him that he was actually the real deal. Uh, but as you know, we have we have had people like this before. We have had kings and also queens, though we've got very few queens who sold out. We do have stories of queens which sold out, and we do have the stories of kings which sold out. The monarchies that are standing today in Africa, many of them are those who have actually sold out to the white system, and then because they protected Britain, Britain also protected them in our land. So those are most of the kings and the queens which are actually have become super kings in Africa are those who have been supported by the imperialist, meaning we have seen kings and queens selling out their people for the sake of benefiting from eating in the same plate or in the same table as the master, from selling out black people. Um, what is happening in South Africa as well? People have not accepted, um, people have not moved on since the elections. People have not accepted the elections. People are still talking about the elections. Precious Malachi saying good evening. Good evening, Precious. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us there. Today, talking about a very serious issue. We're talking about South Africa, we're talking about Kenya, and actually what is happening to educate young people, what is actually happening. Um, why is the black man a target of violence or a target of a operation all over the world? What is the reason so that we can understand what is happening? What is happening comes from the reason why a black man is a target of abuse almost across the world. Almost all nations agrees uh, in the oppression of the black man. Almost all of the nations, they all agree in oppressing the black man. What is the reason? William Ruto in Kenya, highly deceptive, yeah. Is it the right English word? Highly deceptive. William Ruto, just like the kings who sold out in the 1800s. Most kings actually started selling out in the 1800s. Since the start of the 1800s, since the start towards the end of the 1700s, many kingdoms started selling out to the Queen of England. Um, uh, the white man knows deception. What he works with is deception and disorder. Um, there are other black people who have learned the skills of deceptions from the white man, and they have mastered the skills of deceptions. William Ruto is one of the people who have mastered the skills of deceptions from white people. So he has learned the skill for deceiving people, and he's mastered the skill. He came in trusted to change the life of young people in Kenya. He came in trusted to use the land of Kenya and the minerals of Kenya to benefit the children of Kenya. But immediately he came in, he openly showed everybody with arrogance that he's actually a sellout, proudly traveling. He's already made a lot of trips in just a single year. He's already made a lot of trips in Europe, in America, being a puppet of this international mafias, the CIA. But the actual reason why these things are happening is because of the dominant nature of the black gene. The dominant nature of the black gene, it's what is causing the black people to be suffering across the world, all over the world. Because uh, when white people Because when the children of Precious Malachi says, I don't understand how leadership works. I mean, when things are this bad in Kenya, wouldn't it make sense if leadership gives people what they want? It makes sense if it would make sense under normal circumstance, but here we're not talking about normal circumstance or normal situation. This is the situation that I actually want to discuss today. What is the reason why these things are happening? The black man has got a dominant uh, gene. His genetic is naturally dominant. So when the black person or the black woman, the black man or the black woman goes and have a relationship with a white person, or any other nation for that matter, whether it's Chinese, whether it's Indian, when a black person goes and give love to these nations, a black child will come out. So when the black child comes out of the relationship, it means we are cutting on the existence of the white man. When the black child is born, then it means we have actually limited uh, the existence of the white man. The white people are fighting black people for existence. Uh, Black people are genetically dominating the planet. If white people allows their children or the white boys to be economically equal to the black boys, the white children are going to sleep with the black boys, and the generation of white people are going to be eliminated on the planet. To keep the black man or to keep the white man alive, uh, we have to keep the black man in economic operation so that he's not equal to the white man, so that the white woman does not think of a black man. That is the fear of the white man or the person who designed the system. The people who actually designed the system, the fear of them, the existing or the existence uh, of the dominant nature of the black gene is the one which is causing the oppression of the black men all over the planet. Are they justified to keep the black people in oppression in order for them to be able to survive? I think the fight for survival, I think it's a just fight. The only problem is the method that people adopt to keep themselves alive, eh, not giving space for other people to be able to breathe or other people to be able to survive. That is the problem. If people want to survive and fight to survive without oppressing other people, I think there are other methods that can be used to survive in the planet without oppressing others. Like, for instance, we can exist side by side, knowing black people and white people or any other nations can have an agreement to exist side by side, knowing clearly that social engineering is not allowed among people. Uh, I think that could be another way people can negotiate. But the only problem is, well, you can't control how will people behave. You can't really control how will people behave at the end, and it might end up. It's very difficult. It might end up people disobeying what you are saying and mixing up and creating another nation which will be predominantly black. When you look at Burkina Faso, for instance, the people in Burkina Faso, the the population of Burkina Faso, 73% of the people in Burkina Faso are less than 33 years. More than 65% of people in Italy are older than 65 years. So white people are getting old, while black people are getting young. That is why the fight for the survival of the white person. That is why the massive attack. That is why the black person has to pay existence tax, a tax for working in the land in which your ancestors were born. You pay tax for just working. Precious Malachi says, "Lol." So the GNU is necessary then. Yes, well, the GNU is necessary for them to be able to survive, and they won't be able they won't be able to give up the war, because when they give up the war, they give up their existence on the planet. So they can't give up the war. They can't surrender because they still have the money, they still have the power. So they won't allow themselves to surrender. The GNU, it's a very necessary tool for them to use. In Kenya, they are using Ruto there to oppress people, to tax people. VAT, it's not. It's a tax for black people for just existing in their land. That's what VAT is. Uh, they pay. We pay it to the white man. The VAT does not uh, translate into becoming into giving free education for the black child. It does not create opportunities, work opportunities for the black child. It does not uh, help the black child to have the best education in the planet. It does not help the black child to benefit from his minerals. So the VAT that we pay, or the tax that we pay, especially VAT, it's a tax that black people pay for just existing. Companies don't pay tax. Companies have got ways to evade tax besides tax. What they call this term that Tabombeki the term that actually was coined came to be known through Thabo Mbeki. What do they call it? These people who are, please remind me, the people who take money outside, uh, They call it tax what? People who take, please remind me on the comments, people who takes money outside South Africa without paying tax. There's a certain term that is used to mean those things. So VAT, it's actually what is used to keep the black man in poverty. So the black people everywhere or across South Africa, across Kenya, must have this information in order to understand who they are fighting against and what is the reason they are fighting this enemy. Uh, the black man has never hated anybody. The white man as well does not necessarily hate the black person. But he wants to survive in the planet. He wants to see himself alive in the future. He wants to see himself exist in the future. He has employed even bad tactics, buying off people as a tactic, buying of politicians, buying of characters as a tactic to be able to keep all black people in operation, changing of uh, social dynamics. I mean, at the moment, we've got a lot of women. We've got a lot of women who are growing boy children alone. Those boys are becoming, learning more how to be women, so that in the future there's no black man. The black man does not exist. It's only few, very little men there. Uh, Almost 75 of the populations are going to be gay. We're going to have less and less marriages because of the tactics and the criminality which is practiced uh, by the system in order to keep the white men alive. The tactics are very dangerous. If people don't open their eyes to what is happening, people will be doomed. Uh, the fact that women are now growing boy children, those boys are learning more how to become women because there are no men to teach them how to become a man. The more women are outside marriage now. What is happening is more men are becoming gay instead of more boys are becoming girls instead of uh, the number of women by nature is actually more. The number of women by nature in the planet is more than that of a man. Now the men are becoming women because of the tactic that has been employed by the political tactic, uh, kicking women, creating tensions between a man and a woman, creating tensions between children and their parents, creating distances between husband and wife, making the other mistrust the other, uh, tactics that have been deployed to create divorce, ensuring that if there's any marriage, it's only one woman who is in the marriage to ensure that there's no other, there are no other things that happen other than other than what they want. So I thought I should talk about these riots in a way that nobody is talking about, in a way that a lot of people don't even think about it. But it's actually the reality, it's actually what is happening. Black people are already in majority in planet Earth. We don't know. Black people are already in majority in the planet. Uh, when they talk about raising a wall in America, they are talking about closing out the black man in America from growing. Uh, White people will go extinct if they don't protect themselves from social engineering. How do you predict it's gonna end in Kenya? Uh, how it's gonna end in Kenya? They will wait a little while, people cool down, and raise the taxes in one way or another. They are going to wait maybe for 7 months, cooling down, checking the situation, how is it happening, and raise the taxes. If people want to fight, they can go and fight. The system is well established. It has black armies and white police that are protecting the system. So the white army in each and every country represent the queen. The armies represent the queen. The police are there to protect the interest on the ground, the interest of the white men on the ground. The police are there to protect their interest. When black people are striking, the police are there to protect the malls and to protect all the assets of white people against black people. So uh, uh, this is a well established enemy. They have all the news agencies, they control all the propaganda agencies, the news agencies, all the social media. They control this social media that we're using against them. They control it. They can hear, they even restrict my videos, shadow ban them because of what I'm talking about, because they also control social media, they control, they are everywhere. So defeating these people, it's giving up an understanding that when you move on with, it's actually defeating the fear of death. uh, when you want to fight this system, you have to defeat the fear of death, because these people are not afraid of killing. If you rise against them, they do have the guns, they do have the capability. Killing black people in public, it's what they enjoy doing, so that other people can learn that rising against the system will kill you, so that other people who even think of trying to do it must never try to do it. This system that we're talking about, it's well established. But these people are fighting against nature. Um, the fact that the genetics of black people are dominant in nature, uh, it's a fact that has been given by nature. fighting against that fact, it's fighting against nature. So, are they going to win against nature? I don't think so. Will there be a time in the planet where only black people exist? I think so. I really think so. You can't fight nature. You can't defeat black people. You can't kill their spirit. Black people have got strong links to the planet. Black people are the ones who started living in this planet, are the ones who first inhabited the planet Earth. So black people have got more connection with the planet. I was answering to Precious Malachi, who's saying, how do you predict it's gonna end in Kenya? How do I predict it's gonna end in Kenya? That's how I was basically trying to answer to that question which Precious raised there. So, how will black people win over this? Maybe something that we can talk about some other day. If anyone is interested to hear on how can black people win, please comment on the video. Comment. Tell us if you are interested, so that we can actually talk about it in our next, or we can schedule it to happen next time. The channel has been shadow banned a little bit. Uh, Messages are not sent to a lot of people who have subscribed. I saw the analytics. They were showing me that they only share it, send it with very few people, unlike before. Thank you for joining those who have joined the live stream, and thank you for watching those who are watching the live stream after. You can put your comment, tell us what you think about what we're talking about. Tell us about whether you are interested in knowing how can the black man save himself from the havoc that he find himself in, not by design by from him, but as a consequence of existence. He find himself in chaos because other people are, by him existing, he threatens other people from existing. Good night. Thank you very much, Precious. Enjoy your night as well. Good night to everybody. Uh, you can enjoy your night, but don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. You can also support us through the super thanks buttons there, or join the channel to become a member. You can join the channel to become a member, so that you can even enjoy the member only videos. We thank you very much for being part of the live stream. I have no word to say. That's Africa in the basket. But speech was nice. No, I understand. I understand why you don't have words to say. Thank you very much, however, for joining there. Thank you, Queen.